Hi there folks, welcome to another edition of my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to actually be talking about the Xiaomi m3650 scooter electric. If you have a look at it on YouTube or any other videos, you'll get a good look of it. First appearances of it, elegant, stylish, and it's light in weight. Really good welding and made out of a very sophisticated type of metal. The downsides of it are it doesn't come fully finished. It's basically like you've got the basics there, but there's loads of mods you can do on it, loads and loads, from adjusting the actual size of the wheels to actually putting a motor on the back, a motor wheel on the back, because the motors are in the actual wheels. So yeah, there's a hell of a lot of things that can be done to it, but by the end of it you can really put up the average speed and the average mileage you can get out of it. Currently you can get sort of like 20 to 30 kilometers an hour on it. You can go a bit faster if you use this custom firmware toolkit, botox.com, which I'll leave the link for as well. I'm also going to leave a link to a few different channels and people that have actually made a lot of progress with this scooter and are offering advice, spare parts, mod kits, and yeah, just looking to further it basically. It is light as well. It's only 12.5 kilos and it folds down so you can actually carry it and walk it around. So if you've got a big load of steps or anything to go up, you can do things like that. Or if you come across a path which you can only walk through, then again you can just fold it up and take it with you. You can actually add an extra battery to the top of it. I've seen someone put like a tube battery along the side underneath the actual board. That was a really good idea. You can attach buggies to this by putting on a seat and then attaching a pole to that. That's a really good idea I've seen. And then you can put more batteries on top of that and make it last even longer. They're really silent. There's ABS and disc brakes built into them, into these e-scooters, so they're very considerate. The throttle's very sensitive, so you can go along at walking pace. You have the option to get off and walk as well if the pavement is too crowded, or you can go very slowly and walk next to people on it. It's a very considerate machine. You do have the option to take it onto roads and paths as well. And there is a bell on there as well, so you can let people know you're around. There's other options. You can get your mobile phone mounted on the top and then zoom into the Xiaomi app, the My Home app, where you can look at your speed and the distance you covered and how much battery you got left. Looking at this title page here, this is something I recommend people to go to. This Botox site, and there you can make adjustments. And there's a few videos on people actually making the adjustments, putting in the right figures, and what to fill in and what not to fill in. And then you'll need to download the m3650 down G app, and I'll put a link for that as well. And then with that you can actually basically patch this firmware that you've created onto your actual scooter, and it will actually get more power and distance, and you can make it instead of starting at 5 kilometers an hour, you can make it start at like 2 kilometers an hour, which really helps in losing less battery life as well. There are a few things you can do. A lot of people complain that their actual individual cell batteries are not level. There's a trick for doing that as well, where you actually charge the battery for 30 seconds after you've opened up the case and just taken one single wire two single wires and disconnect them, which is the battery to the main board, and then you charge it like that for 30 seconds, and then it basically equalizes all the batteries. However, what you need to do after that is a lot of people complaining when the actual scooter's main battery levels are down, the actual individual voltage levels of the individual battery cells are also down. So what you need to do is when you completely use a battery on your scooter, when you've got it down to 0 or 1 or 1% or something like that, what you need to do is then recharge each one of those battery cells when it's at its lowest point to get them back up to just under 4.2 volts each, or 42 volts, sorry, each. And then what you will do is with those, when the actual main battery levels go to 0 again, the individual volts and the cells will actually stay at the high levels. That's going to give you more distance and a little bit more power and speed. And for that, you'll actually need a soldering kit. I'll supply a link for that as well. I've just got one from Amazon. They're only about 20 odd pounds, but you've got everything in there. It's a real bargain. It's one of the best things I got from Amazon. So I'm going to be attempting to basically make a separate little charger, which is a piece that I've ordered from eBay. I think it was Matthew Confi from France who's got the link for that, which is the link I used. So that I'm going to attach 2 different wires to that and make a mini charger, and then charge up the 2 battery cells at a time, I think it is, or 1 battery cell at a time, until they're all level and high. The other thing I found out, there is a kinetic system on this. So basically when you use the back and front brakes, it recharges the battery. The problem with this is that once you've charged the battery and it's on full, and then you go out, you start braking an ABS and you can actually blow the fuse. And the way the fuse is mounted on there, it's really awkward to get at to. And it's soldered on, so you need to desolder that off and then actually connect 2 wires again to a tiny little plastic fuse box, put like a 20 amp fuse in there, and then put it in between your circuit board and your actual battery. Now what that means is you can either set your kinetic on medium or high, but try to set it on low before you start. So if any chance your fuse does blow, it's really easy to change in the future. So if you are looking to spend a lot of time on your scooter, that's something I recommend doing, and that's something I'm also going to be doing. I'm also looking to get, instead of having 8.5-inch tyres, I'm looking to get the 10-inch tyres. I'm also looking to get an extra battery, which I'm going to put on the V part of the actual frame where it goes up. What I'm going to do, instead of having a box on there, I've seen this really nice bracket that you can actually put on there and it clamps on there. And then there's an actual platform on that which you can attach the battery to it. A lot of people are putting them in like these little baggies. You'll see it, there's an extra strap. That might be a good idea. It's a good form of protection. But what I might be inclined to do as well is actually tape it up with one of these malleable gaff electrical tapes, and do a nice colour with that. I've gone for the light blue. It does look good in pink as well, because it originally had black, and it originally had a lot of red markings on it, but I've changed it to light blue only because parts of the scooter are light grey, whereas some parts are black. So I've gone for that with colouring on the eye. I also got a kit from Curious Joe, which I'll leave a link for, and that's to do with a dampener for rattly handlebars. But I also find opening up the headset and greasing the whole thing is a lot better, and it's what worked for me. But if it does wear down in the future, I've got those dampeners there on the actual start button, and the readout for how much energy you've got. It wasn't well protected, so Joe supplied in his kit a really nice protector, which I put on a clear bit of plastic, and a little black round start button to a plastic one, rubber I think it is, to actually protect the original one, and that works really nice. So that was a good mod. On top of that, I also got Curious Joe's underboard cover. The old one's flexible and gets a lot of dust in it and isn't really well protected. So this new one from Curious Joe's helped me with that. Also the all the cables for the brakes. There were a tangle of mess of different colours, so I've literally again used a black malleable tape, and it looks much better. It looks a bit more like the Scorpion and the Viper, the hardcore scooters, and that sort of design. Although I'm not really looking to take the scooter that fast, I am researching whether I can actually get a back wheel motor to go with a front wheel motor. Not so much for pace, but more to do with power and actually getting up hills at a faster speed. So yeah, that and many other issues I'm looking to sort out in the future. So yeah, there's a lot of other things really to say about this scooter. I like the overall look of it. I really like the fact that the motor's in the wheel, but I don't like the fact that I've only got it in the front wheel. It feels a little bit awkward. I feel like I should have power in the back wheel as well. So hopefully if I can connect the back wheel to the actual extra battery, I think that's going to be a little bit bigger than my main battery, the one I'm ordering. I might do it like that. I like the fact as well you got cruise control, so you keep it at a certain speed for 5 seconds, you'll hear a little bleep on your scooter, and then basically it'll actually set the speed at that speed consistently, and then you can take your hand off the throttle. Good for cold days and stuff. It's easy to balance on the scooter. I reckon it would be nicer with a wider board, which I've seen someone make. You can get disco lights for underneath it as well for night time and extra lights. I would definitely recommend getting a tracker. Someone put a link there for like a really cheap tracker, which you can get on Alibaba Express. I've got to mention Doc Ferry as well. I think he's from Russia or Ukraine, but he's got his own workshop, and he's also got a list of things that he sells, which is pretty much most of it on Telegram. So do look for Doc Ferry, Doc Stroke Ferry. He does some really interesting videos, and you get to see a lot of what he can do and how he can take it further. But really, the Xiaomi is really about evolving it. They have brought out a new one called the Pro, and it looks really good as well. But really what you want is to make sure that you get a double fuse Xiaomi, because then you can do a lot of upgrades with it, and it's got a bit more power on it as well. I actually paid £450 for it, but I have heard people getting them from as cheap as €300, which is about 250. Depends on the condition. If you order from Alibaba Express, it takes a long time. I actually got my scooter from Two Green Eggs, and it only took a few days. And the actual wholesalers there, a fella named Gary who runs the company, are really helpful and got loads of advice, and have got natural enthusiasm for the product, and are looking to make changes themselves and improve everything concerning this product. But the basics are there, and I think with a lot of work and a lot of dedication, you can get a really good scooter out this. And there's even ideas if you put a buggy on the back and even put some ecological wind turbine on it and solar panels, you could basically run it for a very long time, for hundreds of miles, if not indefinitely on a good day, because you just keep recharging the batteries that you have got. So all in all, this is a great product you can use in the city, in the suburbs, or in the countryside if you improve a few things on it. But I reckon all in, if you could be willing to spend between 700 to 800-900, maybe 1,000 with all the buggy and everything included, you would have something for life, and you would have a piece of transport which you could pretty much take anywhere with you if you did everything up on it. So yeah, that's what I wanted to speak to everyone about today with regarding this. I think it is one of the transports of the future. Loads of people are using them now in town. Most people are driving them to be considerate and responsible. The Chinese have actually designed them that way, which I really love, and given them a bit of elegance, but given them a bit of strength as well, so they can actually go off road, and giving you the choice to do the mods. So this is one of these Chinese products that is absolutely top quality, and is basically inspiring humanity to evolve their form of clean electricity, using clean electricity in transport, basically. So yeah, it's up to everyone that's using these scooters at the moment to ride responsibly and give it a good name, so more people, so mass adoption basically happens for it. And we'll basically have, from this, the more people that use it on their commute, the cleaner cities are going to be, and the more pleasant it's going to be for people to work and live in. And I think this sort of enterprise applies for every city around the world. This could drastically improve the quality of air, the less amount of traffic, less amount of noise, less amount of stress. Creations like this could completely transform a city, but people have to be aware that Xiaomi still haven't come up with the finished prototype product. I mean, they've got the Pro at the moment, but I think they're going to need something like a Pro Plus Plus or Pro Plus down the line that next year. But I think it's up for everyone that's got one of these scooters to do their bit and further it, and then send their finished photos of their finished product to Xiaomi to explain how they could improve the final product and get it out there for the masses for a decent price. For example, running one of these things, it's like between 2 and 20 pence a single charge, so it's really cheap to run as well. So overall, yeah, I feel that enthusiastic about this project, that I really do think it can be a game changer. They're lovely to use, and yeah, you can do all sorts of things. I was thinking about attaching a buggy to the back. You can do shopping with them. I've actually gone into supermarkets and put my basket on the back, put my stand up, go around, search for stuff, put it on and then wheel it around. And none of the members of staff have told me not to use it or anything, because they ain't that big. So they're easy to go into shops with. They're very convenient, and they're very, very easy to use. So yeah, that's what I've got to say about these scooters. So if you've got any questions, then please leave them in the comments, and please like and subscribe. Thanks very much for your time. I know this was a bit of a long video, but I'm very enthusiastic about this product and what it can lead to. So anyway, thanks for your time. Bye.